How is your relationship with your father?
Great. It's almost sad because I always had a special bond with both my parents anyway. Apparently, my other siblings don't have the same relationship I do. I didn't know this until much later, but my dad and I laughed together. I'm going to get my dad to like fall over and roll laughing. And apparently he doesn't do that with anybody else, but he's always been that way with me. And it's because I reminded him of his dad. And my grandfather, who died when I was 3, and I didn't know about this until I was 20-something years old, was a vaudeville performer who tap danced, sang, and was an all-around showman. And he quit the performing life to marry my grandmother, whereupon he became an alcoholic and died at the age of 63 from complications from his drinking. But you don't wonder why. I'm not saying he was gay. But who knows? I didn't know. I mean, he died when I was 3. I have like one memory of him. But apparently it was when I started showing an interest in performing, my whole family on my dad's side, my dad had them all like up against the wall, like practically with a gun to their heads. You do not tell him about his grandfather's vaudeville career. I don't want him going into this performing. I saw what it did to my father, and I'm not letting him do it. And I just, look at me, just fell right into it naturally. Next thing I know, here I go, and my dad was, I could see there was something inside of him that really bothered him about me performing, but I could also see that he was incredibly proud. And so that was, he was fighting that the whole time. It wasn't until I got home from my mission, living in Salt Lake, and my grandmother said, she opened the door when I went to visit her one day, and she said my grandfather's name. I was like, and I went, no, Grandma, it's me. She went, oh, I know, it's just, I opened the door, and there he was, young and 20-something again. And I was like, apparently I walk, talk, look like, and just like re-inherited all of this stuff from him. And my dad loved him. And I think that's the reason. My dad, very shy, quiet man, and my grandfather was boisterous, gregarious, and open out there. And everybody in town knew him, and he was a kind of guy. Jack Mormon, big time. And my dad was terrified of him. Did not want to repeat his life because he saw what it did to him. So he became a religion teacher and to counteract that. And then I come along and just blow all that. I come right out again. So, and I was like, wow, I kind of just fell into that naturally. So that's why I almost don't question anything that really comes up in my life, gay, straight, performing, any of it. Because it seems like I'm supposed to be doing something. Or there's some kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it.
So do you believe in God?
Yeah. On some level, I'm not so sure. If you had asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have said, oh yes. But it's different to me now. It's weird.
Do you consider yourself spiritual? Whatever that means. So such a strange term. But.
It is, if spiritual in a way that would be like put it out there in the universe. That kind of a spiritual, yes. If you talk, I'm not so sure I believe in
a guiding hand.
I know that ain't happening, because if it were true, all the praying and the crying and the fasting and the crying and the praying that I did trying to alter my life back then to not be gay, he would have given me a little helping hand. There was no one more contrite, no one begging more than I. I'm sure there were plenty equal, but no more. If God is not willing to help me and is going to abandon me completely. He's not offering any solution, no alternative, nothing. Just don't do it. Abstain. And every single person I ever went to about it gave me a different story each time. And as time progressed, they got more lax and more lax and more lax. To the point where my dad said to me one day, get this, well, you're born under the covenant. And I went, yeah. You're sealed to us. No matter what, you're going with us. And I said, oh, great. I'm going to be the only kid that didn't get married and have to live with mom and dad for time and all eternity. Great. I said, save me a bedroom in the basement, you know, making jokes about it. But that is literally kind of what my dad said. Well, don't worry about it, because you're sealed to us. Nothing's changing.
Then you're like, then what was this whole to do about?
Well, that's the whole thing. Apparently,
why all this suffering?
You can't, you can't, unless the church comes down and says, we now have, you are completely broken we break the seal. You are not sealed to your parents. And I'd have to request that. And I figure, no one's giving me a definitive answer over there. It can't hurt to have that in my back pocket if everything turns out to be true for the moments in the end. I can always pull that card. Ho, ho, ho! Time and all eternity right here. Take care. Before you send me to the...
I'm fucked.
I just don't believe that there's one way, and that's the only way. I love a lot of the principles about the church. I mean, the family thing is great. Being a good person and, the basic Christian principles, it's awesome. But they have no room for me in their world. I don't exist. I'm a problem. Abort, send him, reject pile. I found out very quickly if I wasn't going to be married, if I wasn't going to, they don't know what to do with you. There's so many people along the way that I just thought were so great and funny and entertaining, and they were gay.
And so,
they have some of my favorite people of my parents' era.
Yeah, and it's their favorite people. And when you finally, now it can come out because now their family or history, like it will come out because it's not a big deal to hide it anymore.
Well, and all of a sudden they'll be like, what are you doing? Why are you hiding it?
Oh, I liked them.
Yeah, they don't care.
Rock Hudson was gay. Oh, I liked him.
Think about it.
Like,
you
still like him.
Everybody it's like my sister's age, or Jody's, Tanis's age. The gay people that came out of her class. If they were all of these people were the most popular kids in school. Everybody loved them. They weren't freaks in the corner. They were popular, and if you were to talk to any of them, they go, yeah, I was friends with him.
So do you see yourself as happy now?
Yeah. I was happy the second I told my parents. I felt the weight of the world as it was, the burden lifted. The second I said to my parents, and it literally exploded out of me when I told them.
So is that the advice you would give anyone?
Oh, God, yes.